I got involved with the big class about 3 years ago. We started to use the boat in our junior sailing program in New Zealand, and I like the boat very much. It's simple, but it teaches the kids good technique from a very early age. It's quite a tippy boat, and I actually like that for learn to sail. A lot of coaches find it easier to teach kids in a more stable boat, but I like to put them straight into that situation early. I think it teaches them the feel and the movement in the boat a lot faster, more rapid. So for the first few weeks, it's a little bit more challenging to teach the kids in one of these boats, but after that they progress, in my view, much faster. So I like the boat for this. For one of the reasons is that, but also they are very cost effective. You know, when you go and do big events, because of the fully battened sail and the simple setup, you don't need to spend a lot of money preparing the boat. There's no real difference between an old boat and a new boat. In fact, my son races the oldest boat in the fleet in New Zealand. You know, so there's more than 200 boats there now. His boat is the oldest. It really doesn't make any difference. So you're not buying new equipment all the time. You're not buying new centerboards and rudders or new masts or new sails. It's very simple, and I like that.
In this class, just change the sail
one maybe, depending on how much the kid sails. If they sail a lot, one per year should be plenty. Yeah. Very good program. We used sailing as a tool for education, because I think junior sailing should be about getting more sailors involved in the sport. Really, that is the goal. If we can get more numbers, then you know, I think it's going to be better for everyone. So we had almost 3,000 kids go through the program in Bermuda, which was fantastic. I'd like to do a similar thing ultimately in other parts of the world as well. So yeah, that was a very interesting program. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm very passionate about youth sailing. We do support, my wife and I do support some youth programs back there. Well, I think, you know, both boats are good junior boats. I think there's a cost difference ultimately between campaigning a open beck and an optimist. If you want to race an optimist, you probably need to buy a lot of new equipment regularly. With the beck, I think you can race the boat and compete in different events without actually buying much, if any, new equipment. Maybe one, as I said, one sail per year. Obviously, if you damage things, you have to replace them. But that aside, you don't have to buy new equipment for competitive reasons. I like the freestyle nature of the events and introducing a few different concepts, because you know, you don't want to make the racing too heavy for these kids at a junior age. You know, they're going to have plenty of pressure on them later in their lives, in all forms of their lives. So junior sailing should really be about fun and trying to teach them better technique so they can enjoy sailing in all conditions. For example, I like to take the junior sailors out in a safe environment, but in very, very strong winds, so that they experience that. They learn the power of the sea. They learn to respect the sea, but they also learn how to handle their boat in very strong wind conditions. And I think that's actually a good safety skill for them to have later on. Now you can do that in a beck because it doesn't fill up with water, so you can sail in quite windy conditions, big waves and so forth. And if the kid capsizes, you can right the boat and get them going straight away. They're not bailing water out of the boat and so forth. And this actually makes it easier for our coaching programs, because if one coach is handling, say, 6 kids, and one of the boats capsizes, it's very easy to then stop all the other boats, make sure that the boat is righted, and then you can continue immediately. When we were using the Optimist, if one boat capsized, it would take one of the coaches out of play for maybe even 15-20 minutes while they... I think kids actually, once they get their confidence, then they can really enjoy sailing. Once they get confident with the speed, downwind and strong conditions, and once they learn that actually the worst that can happen to them is they fall in the water, pretty much, you know, then once they are over that fear, I think they start to really enjoy sailing, and they learn how to love it. And that's the goal with our junior program. Me? Well, I raced a lot, as you know, when I was younger, and I enjoy that very much. But now I get more pleasure out of the helping the junior sailing programs. I actually enjoy that more, and pleasure trying to help other young sailors progress. It's to me that's as much or more fun than going out there and competing. Particularly if I go out and compete and I'm not well prepared, which I wouldn't be right now. I would. Because I sailed at a high level, and to just go sailing for me is not fun, so I get more fun these days out of just helping the junior programs.
Perfect. Okay, Russell, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you.